Hey, this is a quick introduction to YouBooks, an AI book generator app. So, assuming you already have an account, and this is my demo account here, first thing you want to do is go to New Book. And here is the page that you're always going to use to basically create any new book project. Now, you might be tempted to just go ahead and throw your prompt here. In fact, this will work, so you can just write a few words of the book you want, and if you go down and press write my book, if that's a non-fiction book, that will work, and it will write the default 11,000 words. However, you might want first to create a specific writing style or update specific content sources if you want to use your own sources. By default, YouBooks will search the internet. If you want, you can deactivate that here. But if you want to use your own sources, you can go here and create your own sources. And you can also give sources that is text to use as a reference for a style. Now, assuming you don't want to do any of that, you just want to write a book, all you really got to do is come here, type the subject out. You can also mention the language that you want this in. So I want a book about, I don't know, using AI book generator apps. And this will not be populated if you haven't created any styles. Same with this, so you can just leave this empty. Here, the idea here is that when we develop your table of contents, we have two ways to go, really. One is we can create a lot of breadth, so try to cover as many points as possible. The other one is we can create more depth, so that would be this way. And cover less points but go deeper into them. Balance this more often than not the right approach here. And if you have sources, apologies for these weird names, you can select them right here. You would have to have already created them here. So you can't go and create it now. If you leave this page, your progress will be lost. So make sure you get everything ready in terms of sources and styles beforehand. Note that if you do mention a style here, so for example, write this in a funny way. Apologies for the simplistic style description, but yeah, that will work too. What will happen is this style will be extracted and it will be added as a specific style inside the style prompts. Because really, YouBooks needs to separate what the content is and what the style is for it to work. So that will happen automatically. Also, remember that if you want this in another language, write this in Greek. You can mention that here. And if you write this prompt here in another language like Italian or whatever, the book will more likely than not be in Italian. But it's always good to just specify that if the language that you desire is not English, it's always good to specify that here. If the language that you ask for is very niche, not supported, we will let you know when you click this button, but most likely it will be supported. So let's just go for this. Let's change the language to something that might make more sense for this example, and then just click that button right there. I haven't chosen any styles or any sources, and the first thing you will see is working title here. This page doesn't refresh automatically, so if you just go like this, you won't see anything unless you refresh it. And then now we see that this project is at the stage where it's writing the title. If I refresh the page again manually from there, generating book outline, you don't have to, of course, stay on top of this because it's going to take a few hours. For 11,000 words, it will take about an hour. And the reason is that the way this process works in the back end is a bunch of agents start trying to find sources online or parsing your own sources that you provide, and then they start discussing. These agents, they come from different AI providers. So Gemini, Meta Llama, ChatGPT, and Claude by Anthropic. They all discuss and they come down, they decide what they're going to write. And then all that content is rewritten in a more flowing style, and then there are multiple quality checks and revisions that are done. If you feel like it, you can just keep pressing refresh here and watch what's happening. Now, if you have a very big project, like I don't know, like 100,000 words, that's going to take like 7 or 8 hours. And note that that's 7 or 8 hours where the system doesn't stop, doesn't sleep. It's just continuously generating tokens and working at always one thing at a time, but continuously working. It's a sequential process of thousands of steps to generate your book. And we found that this is really the only way to get a quality result that no other application really can match, at least at this time. So that is it, more or less. This will be ready in about an hour, and you'll be able to download a Microsoft Word file, an EPUB, MD, or RTF that you can use to then convert, to other formats like Kindle that you might want to use to upload to Amazon KDP or any other publishing service, or maybe you just want the book to read yourself. Now, a few more pointers that I should make. You can include a table of contents here, suggest a table of contents, and the AI will try to follow it. However, it's not guaranteed that it will follow it word for word. And that's it because, for example, you could upload a table of contents that is like 3 chapters, and then you ask for 200,000 words, and we obviously gonna have to come up with more than that. So this is not guaranteed, but it will try to follow it. So if you have a table of contents, you can throw it in here. For the sake of tidiness, I guess it does make sense to just keep your stylings here instead of here, but it's not the end of the world if you include it here. If you do include sources, you would have to go here first and upload your source. Note that this does cost money because parsing your sources and saving them is not free, but you can use your sources in multiple projects. You can only use one source per project. So if you want to use a certain collection of sources, then you should upload them all together here as one collection of sources, I guess, that would have only one source name. And I think that's it, more or less. Free generation, note that you don't have commercial rights to this one, and it doesn't use online searching. Why would you want to deactivate this? Well, sometimes you want to have perfect control over the sources. You don't want the bots to go off and read things online. So that would be one case for deactivating that. Otherwise, I recommend you leave it as is. Let's see where this one is at. Writing text for chapter 0, section 0. So it's already done a lot of stuff. It's already probably at step about 300, and it's getting on to the research part.